Are you a strong, independent woman who's passionate about her career? Then this podcast is perfect for you. Based on her book, The Career Woman's Secret Playbook, career coach Dr. Dawn Hamby shares the kind of insider secrets you can only know if you've hired, fired, and promoted employees over the past 30 years.
Ladies, I'm on a mission to help busy women just like you create a career and life you love without sacrificing your work-life balance to get it. Come join me as we inspire and motivate each other only as women can and have lots of fun along the way.
With Dr. Dawn's tools, strategies, and action steps, you can unleash your personal and professional power in a whole new way. Here's today's episode.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of the Career Woman's Secret Playbook podcast. Now, if you're joining us on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for how poor the aesthetic is behind me. You guys, this hotel room really is beautiful, but you would never know. Because I had to move the desk closer to the window. The lighting was so bad in here. So, I normally try to give you on YouTube a really great background to see. I use virtual backdrops, the whole thing to make it more fun for you to watch our videos. So again, I'm just going to apologize now. We're traveling today. This hotel room is much nicer than what this is illustrating. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. All right, you guys, I'm so excited you're here. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn, CEO and founder of Dr. Dawn ShopTalk. And as a career coach and consultant, I can tell you that all the topics that we cover in this podcast are so near and dear to my heart, you guys. Why? Well, it's because I've seen firsthand that when you don't think about some of these issues, they can really affect you both at the office and at home. So don't forget, this is your place to come together with other fabulous career professionals, and I'm just so happy you're here. My hope is that you're going to get a little inspiration from these episodes so that you can bring your A game to the office. When you don't, we know it's so easy, isn't it, to get overwhelmed and stressed. And when that happens, as we know, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? That's another reason I really wanted to create a community of career women. I know we do have more and more men that are listening to us. So thank you guys for your support. We appreciate that. But I do know that many times women are a little worse than the guys out there about spreading themselves so thin. That's another reason that we just have this calling to create this community for all of our fabulous career gals out there. Also, I wanted to invite you to download some goodies that I've created just for you. This is kind of like a thank you from me to you for listening to our podcast and checking out our YouTube videos. So just head over to our website at drdawnshoptalk.com, and there you can find these free downloadables. Let me give you some ideas of some of these freebies that I've created for you. You literally just click on resources, scroll on down to the bottom. There's also a link to the book that the podcast is based on. That's right there as well. But check some of these out. These are some of my favorite tips that I share with my clients. So you're kind of getting the insider secrets by going straight to the website. And what I did is I really just thought about some popular topics that I know that our clients have struggled with. And these are topics that I really based on what my employees would struggle with. So for example, here's one of our more popular ones. This one's called "No is a complete sentence. Healthy boundaries, happy life." We know it's true. We know if we don't set those healthy boundaries at work or in our personal lives, we really hope we set them in both, right? What happens is people take advantage of that. They'll literally run all over you. It's just kind of human nature. It's that phenomenon that people really treat you the way you expect to be treated. You kind of teach them how to treat you. So by setting those healthy boundaries, you guys, you're going to just feel so much better about your personal and professional life. Now, here's another one. It's one of my favorites called Becoming the CEO of Your Own Life. I love this one, you guys, because it's all about understanding what you can take charge of, what is in your control and what's not. So again, you guys can print this right off the website. You can put these up so that you can see them. And because I couldn't just stop at one or two freebies, I came up with a couple of more for you. One is called Cultivating Confidence Wherever You Go. Isn't that important? You guys want to do that. You want to feel good in your own skin. You want to walk into a room and just own it. The last one that I have for you is called Don't Let Fear Take the Wheel. That is so important. It kind of teaches you the ways that you might be getting in the way of your own success. You should be in charge of your life and you should be excited about it. So that cheat sheet is going to give you lots of great tips to help you make sure that you're in charge. And by the way, you guys, speaking of being in charge of your own life, do you know I've got a video series for you that you can check out on the website? Oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite things that I've put together for my clients. It's our DIY or do-it-yourself program. So check that out. I think you're going to love it. You'll have lifetime access to those videos where I'm with you every step of the way, taking you through those tips and tricks to make a difference in your life so you can start taking charge of that. Also, something very popular is the Power Hour, where if you just need me to help you figure out what to do next, that's why I love career coaching, you guys. You've heard me talk about this before. You know, we're a career consulting, a business consulting company. So yes, I absolutely love putting together workshops and seminars for all types of organizations out there. I even work with schools and colleges. I love that. That is the biggest piece of my business, and I'm never giving that up. Public speaking is another big piece of what we do. So again, I love all that. We're going to keep that. But another thing I'm always going to keep in my business is the one-on-one coaching. I love it because I get to sit down with you personally and really take that journey with you. And why should you take the journey alone? I mean, that's what a career coach is for, okay? You got to have that help. So that's my job, and I love it. I do the research for you. I'm with you every step of the way as you face career challenges, and together we figure out what your next step should be. That's the reason I'm so excited about this podcast, is because I'm going to give you weekly tips, valuable strategies and action steps, and I'm going to make sure you get those on a Monday so you can start your week off on the right foot. If you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to comment. Let us know how things are going. And if you are listening to us on the podcast, then don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, because we want to be able to get our message out to more folks just like you. Okay? All right, you guys. So let's talk about, why are you beating yourself up? Are you listening? Is that what you're doing? What can you do about it? First, I want you to give yourself a pat on the back right now, okay? If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. Why are we doing that? Well, it's because I want you to always start with the positive. I want you to give yourself credit for the mere simple fact that you're not only interested in your own happiness and success, but guess what? You're willing to do something about it. How do I know that? Because again, you're listening to the podcast. You're not one of those people who's just out there complaining and just never doing anything about it. All right, the next thing I want to do is let's go ahead and define what I actually mean when I say beating yourself up. I'm sure you've heard the expression, we're our own worst critic. Well, that's basically what I mean. The ability to see greatness in others, but not always seeing it in ourselves. And listen, guys, that's easy to do, right? It's easy to see that in your loved ones and your friends, but maybe you don't see that in yourself all the time. And when you don't see your own greatness, oh man, it can definitely affect you in the workplace and in your personal life. Now, here's the irony. Did you know that this seems to affect women in greater numbers? It really does. We can see all the positive things in our spouses, our partners, our children, you name it. But to give ourselves that same kind of grace, that can be a challenge. So let's figure out why this is happening. And again, what can we do about it? The first thing I want us to do is let's diagnose the root of the problem. And to do that, we're going to start with a couple of questions. Number one, are you a perfectionist? Now listen, if you've got this disease to please at the expense of what's reasonable, You may be a perfectionist. Now, if this is you, don't worry about this. We're actually going to talk about this in next week's episode, but I just want you to start with a little awareness, okay? So again, we're going to cover this in next week's episode, so stay tuned for that. But for now, just ask yourself, could I be a perfectionist? Okay, that could be part of why you're beating yourself up. All right, number 2. Are you giving yourself credit when credit is due? Okay, we just talked about that. That's why I wanted you to start off by giving yourself a pat on the back, because by listening to this episode, you're trying to do something about it. Now, it really is human nature to sometimes focus on the negative. We've talked about that in other episodes. It's really a survival instinct in order to protect you from the dangers out there. So as a result, we tend to forget about all the things that are going right. And we instead focus on everything we think is going wrong. Now, the reason I say what we think is going wrong is because you know what? Sometimes our perception may not be reality. Or in some cases, yeah, things may have gone wrong. But here's the magic of that. Our failures can sometimes teach us more, not only about our business, but about our personality. And it kind of teaches us all the ways things won't work out. Like when I've set a goal and I haven't accomplished it as fast as I thought I would, guess what? That is an opportunity for self-discovery. Do I beat myself up? Absolutely, right? We just talked about that. But I also take it as a lesson, a learning lesson about what's going to work for me and what's not. Okay, so think of it that way. All right, number 3. Are you suffering from comparison-itis? You guys, don't do this to yourself. First off, you never know if you're comparing apples to oranges. In other words, you don't know if their situation is even the same as yours. For example, if you're a business owner like me, you might be comparing yourself to someone who's had advantages you didn't have. Maybe they had a huge following on social media already, so they kind of had potential clients and customers and listeners already lined up at the gate because they have this big following. Or maybe they had connections that you didn't have. Okay? So you never know. They might be able to promote their product, for example, on TV and radio because they have those connections, or maybe they've been on a TV show. So you can't compare the two. Or maybe, again, if you're a business owner, you don't know if you're comparing your beginning to their ending. Maybe they've been at it for 5, 10, 15 years. So their level of experience and expertise and their confidence, you might be seeing that and thinking, oh, why am I not like that? How come I'm not getting those results? You might be happy for them even, because I tend to be like that. I tend to be so happy for my friends and for folks I don't know. I'm just proud of them because I want to aspire. I might respect something about that YouTuber or about that podcaster. And I'm like, oh man, that's exactly the way I want to be. All right, let's move on to another tip. Tip number 4. Are you feeling like a failure? Now, again, part of that may be because you're comparing yourself to others, which can result to feeling like a failure, and we don't want that. When you start doing that, then you're definitely beating yourself up. I know you are. Listen to me out there, people. You know you're doing this to yourself, okay? So if you're listening to this right now while you're getting ready for work, maybe, you're doing your hair and makeup and trying to face the day. Maybe you're on a walk right now and things are stressful and you just wanted a break, so you're listening to this while you're walking. I love picturing when you're listening to this. Isn't that fun? I love it. So if you're doing that, you're emptying the dishwasher, you're taking a walk, you're at the gym, you're needing maybe a little inspiration. Well, this is going to help you because I am telling you right now, you need to stop beating yourself up. It's going to make things worse, not better. Here's some food for thought. If you are, again, listening to this podcast, or if you're watching us on YouTube, do you know what that actually means? It means that you care enough about yourself to want to make your life better. You do. I keep saying that in this episode. I think it's just calling to me. I want to remind you that when you're here, when you're listening to any podcast, you're trying to improve your life. And that's something to really respect, right? Because you're trying to learn things about yourself so that you can continue to grow. And listen, how great is that? I'm so proud of you. I really am. That's the kind of community I want to build. And that's why I'm so excited about this podcast and what we get to do at ShopTalk. Now, let's talk about your game plan, okay? We're all about a game plan here. We're all about taking action. So here's your game plan. In a nutshell, this is what I want you to do. Number one, stop trying to be perfect. Again, we'll get into the details. Stay tuned for that in next week's episode. But right now, just stop it. Just stop it. Stop trying to be perfect and instead strive for excellence. When things don't go according to plan, just remember that the world's best inventions have sometimes happened by accident. And the world's millionaires and billionaires have often attributed their failures to the reason they were successful right around the corner. In fact, it was those failures that taught them what they needed to change. And as a result, their business really thrived, really took off in some instances. So again, another reason to stop trying to be perfect. Number two, you are going to start giving yourself credit where credit is due. Start treating yourself like you would treat your partner, like you would treat your best friend, like you would treat your children, like you would treat your furry children. Hey, we sometimes show our dogs, our cats, the family pet more love than we do ourselves. So stop it. You're going to stop giving yourself a hard time. You're going to start giving yourself credit. In other words, I want you to start treating yourself like your own best friend and recognize all the things that you have not only already accomplished, but start acknowledging how far you've come. Give yourself that pat on the back every time you need it and start thanking yourself for believing that you can do more and be more. Okay? All right. Number three, you're going to stop comparing yourself. We talked about that. Comparing yourself to others is easy to do. And listen, we're kind of visual too. So if you're a visual creature like most of us, then stop looking at somebody's Facebook post or Instagram story because remember, you're seeing them at their best. I'm just as guilty about that because I want to celebrate. If things are going great, I want to celebrate with my family and friends. Hey, you guys, check out this post. We just celebrated a milestone or we just celebrated an anniversary. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. You want to celebrate those special times with family and friends. But remember that you're not ever really going to know their struggle and their pain. We don't really know what's going on in someone else's life. Now, it's possible they might share a personal story. For example, I just shared my own health journey, how I lost 30 pounds and have kept it off, which has been harder to do being a woman in your 50s. I promise you. So that's on my YouTube channel. Check that out. But in any case, not everyone's going to share their pain. Not everyone's going to share their bad times and how they overcame them. Now, I tend to do that because I love sharing that kind of content with you guys. But again, stop looking at someone else's post if it's making you depressed. And, just realize that comparing yourself is going to make things really, really hard. So again, why are you comparing yourself to anyone else? Just stop doing that. And number four, you're going to stop feeling like a failure right now because, again, you're going to remember these lessons, right? You're going to remember that every path, every misstep has brought you to where you are today. Start believing that things are working out exactly the way that they should. And you can look back on how far you've come, and that's an exciting place to be. All right, you guys, so let's recap. What are you going to do? You are going to stop being a perfectionist. You're going to start giving yourself credit where credit is due. You're going to stop comparing yourself to others, and you're going to stop beating yourself up because you keep thinking you're a failure. You're going to stop all that, and your game plan is going to help you appreciate how far you've come, so that you can start recognizing how fantastic, how fabulous you are. If you've listened to this episode or watched our video to the very end, again, I already know you're fantastic because you're doing something about it. You're not one of these annoying people that just keep complaining and bringing the rest of us down, okay? You're not that person, and I'm proud of you, and I'm so glad that you're part of our community of people who want to live their lives with more passion and purpose. I hope you enjoyed stopping in for our episode today. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your support and for everything you're doing to make your life better. Remember, I would love to work with you, so reach out to us on our website. Be sure to schedule a consultation. Our consultations are always free, so be sure to check that out. And I look forward so much to seeing you next week. Don't forget that we drop new episodes on Mondays. And in the meantime, don't forget our motto right here at ShopTalk, and it's this: if you're not having a fantastic day, you have the power to make it one. I know our episode is over, but this is just the beginning. If you're ready to take action but don't know where to start, just head over to DrDawnShopTalk.com for lots of free resources, ways to work together, and for even more. Subscribe to the Dr. Dawn Shop Talk YouTube channel. Remember, ladies, you don't have to take this journey alone. I've got you covered. Till next time.